Ginger. When you hear that word, this is what you think about. However, it is far more complicated than that. There are over 1,600 different species in the ginger family, and this is just one of them. The other 1,599 plus species out there don't get spoken about nearly enough, which is kind of a shame because some of these species are very, very interesting and they are used in a lot of different ways. Not just the ginger root, but also ginger seeds, ginger flowers, and yes, ginger fruit. And today, everybody, we're going to take a look at all of these things, all the different plant parts of ginger and some of the really interesting ways that they are used. Let's go. My cat has a very special message for everybody. So not everybody agrees to just how edible all the parts of all the different ginger species are. There's a lot of them. So some people say that there is no toxic ginger out there and you can eat all the parts. Other people say that you should not eat certain parts of certain species of ginger. There's not a lot of information out there. So in this video, I do eat a lot of different gingers. And some of them are ones that people don't talk about that much. In all cases, you should always take precautions before you just randomly eat anything that you find in nature. And with gingers, it's no exception, even if some people say that. So, yeah, be safe, guys. And is there anything else, Vostok? No. The ginger that we all know and love is Zingiber officinale, which I actually looked up the pronunciation for and probably am still getting wrong. Zingiber officinale is just one species out of 1,600 plus species in this family, but is also just one genus out of 50 genera. This is a really big family of plants and there's a lot of differences between them all. Although many people call this ginger root, it is actually not a root, it is a rhizome, which from my understanding is a swollen, horizontal, underground stem, okay? So it grows like this, and the ginger stalks come out of the top, and I believe the roots come out of the bottom. This stores nutrients for the plant similar to a tuber. There are some other popular rhizomes in the ginger family, including turmeric and galangal. Turmeric, most people have had this as a powdered spice, but maybe not the fresh rhizome, so I'll try a little piece of it real quick in case you've never had it. These taste fresh. Fresh turmeric is actually quite powerful. I feel like dried powdered turmeric is kind of mild. I don't really notice it when it's in something. This stuff though, you notice it. This is kind of like a carrot in flavor, but peppery. It gives you a little bit like a numbing sensation and a bit bitter. Fresh turmeric is becoming a little bit easier to find these days, so if you've never had it, check it out. It's a fun one to play with. Galangal, harder to find. This one has not really caught on. It actually took me a little bit of digging before I was able to find some fresh galangal, but if you have a well-stocked Asian supermarket near you, you can get this fresh, maybe in the frozen section you can get galangal. Even if you have never seen galangal before, you may have had it if you've ever had a Thai curry. If you go to a Thai restaurant, 99 times out of 100, they are using the same paste that all restaurants use, and those pastes contain galangal. Okay, so you've probably had this in something. If you never had it raw, neither have I. So let's, galangal is, hard. Being careful not to lose a thumb. Yeah, much harder to cut into. It's much more fibrous than regular ginger. There's what it looks like on the inside. This smells like pine needles. Ha 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 ha. Oh. Oh. Most notable thing is that it's really spicy. You know, like regular ginger, it's spicy. This is spicier. It's almost like pepper. Really burns your tongue. but in the same sort of way that regular ginger does. The flavor is completely different. I feel like regular ginger has a little bit of like almost like a citrusy kind of brightness to it. This isn't really bright. This is more herbal, leafy, piney, resiny, harsh. I love the flavor of galangal when it is in curries, but eating the raw stuff is not like eating the raw regular ginger. Like this stuff, you can eat a slice of this and it's fine. This one, you can make a ginger shot and drink it. If you made a shot out of this, it would kill you. There is one other rhizome in the ginger family that has some popularity in Southeast Asia and some parts of China. People use this. It's called finger root. It tastes kind of like a mixture of these two things, the supermarket regular ginger and turmeric. It's like regular ginger, but it's a little bit more earthy from what I remember. I have never seen finger root outside of Asia. However, if you have a well-stocked Asian supermarket, you might find it in the jar. Finger root from the jar tastes nothing like fresh finger root. Don't buy this. Tastes like a pickled potato. With so many different species of ginger out there, there are, of course, other rhizomes that you can eat, but they're not really well known. Last year, I had the opportunity to visit New Caledonia. New Caledonia is a series of islands not too far from Australia. And while I was there, traveling with my friend Stephen Murray, I met with a fellow fruit fanatic, Vincent. Vincent has a YouTube channel, Fruit Addict, which I will link below. And Vincent showed us all sorts of cool plants while we were in New Caledonia, including a bunch of different gingers, a bunch of ginger fruits, and a ginger rhizome that he said was really, really good. Don't know that much about it, but I tried it, and it was good.
There we go. There we go.
Got a piece?
Yeah.
So this is originally from the Reunion Islands, and it's supposed to have a mango taste. It smells kind of lemony. It has like a pepper taste, a strong like peppery kind of heat. I mean, ginger has like a heat compound in it, so that makes sense. It's also quite lemony. Doesn't taste like mango exactly, but like a green mango.
It's mango-y.
A little bit, right?
Yeah, I can taste the mango
A
taste.
little lemony, like green mango maybe.
No, it's not too spicy.
The spice comes at the end.
I mean, it is increasingly spicy.
Yeah.
That's a big bite.
Yeah, you just ate like double what I did. There's a rare species of ginger.
Yeah, probably within the turmeric group.
Yeah, there's more out there than just regular ginger, guys.
Fun fact about ginger, I mean, regular ginger, is that you can take a piece of this, cut it, put it in soil, and that will grow into another plant. That is how this is propagated. This is not grown from a seed because it usually does not produce seeds. It does not produce fruit. However, many of the other species out there do, and sometimes those seeds are used as a spice. This includes cardamom, a popular spice used for sweets, spiced teas, and coffees. Black cardamom, which adds a nice smoky flavor to savory dishes. Red cardamom, which you may find floating in Chinese hot pot. White cardamom, which is a popular ingredient in some parts of Indonesia. And grains of paradise, which is getting a little bit trendy where I live in the US, but originally it is from West Africa, and this is used in either sweet or savory dishes. Really good in apple pie. There are many other seeds in this family that are used as a spice, but on a much smaller scale, so they're hard to come by. One of the more rare ones that I've had in the past is something called Madagascar wild ginger. I tried making a tea out of it, and it didn't really work because it had like this strong herbal note to it. So it was a little bit like regular green cardamom, but mixed with like bay leaves or something. Some flowers in the ginger family are also used. The most commonly known one, at least on an international level, is something called myoga ginger. This is very popular in Japanese cooking. And how myoga ginger is used is it's cut up and then used as a garnish. I tried it on some miso soup once, and I really liked it. It added a nice texture to it, kind of like a little bit of a crunchy scallion kind of texture. The flavor of it reminded me of Szechuan peppercorns. It was a little bit spicy, a little bit citrusy, but also gave a slight numbing sensation. Another ginger flower that people eat is something called torch ginger. I came across this flower many years ago when I visited Borneo, and in Borneo this is used to make laksa, which is the best food in the world. The torch ginger is either used in the broth to add a bit of a sourness to it, or it is cut up and put on top as a garnish the same way that myoga ginger is used.
It's a little bit like citrusy the way ginger is, kind of like lemon, but also very herbal tasting.
When you have this flower, the very outer parts of it are usually discarded and just the center is used. So I ate a petal from the outside, so it didn't have that strong of a taste. Like many of the videos that I made back then, I was doing it wrong. Lucky for me, I found this frozen torch ginger for sale at an Indonesian supermarket here in New York City. It does pain me a little bit though, because when I bought the torch ginger flower back in Borneo, I got one for about 15 cents. This pack of 3, $7. Yeah. And by the way, the only part that is really used is this part here, just the top. So it's just this little bit of the flower that is used as a garnish. The rest of it, although it's often sold with it, I don't see much reference to people actually eating the stem. People focus on the bulb at the top. I look for interesting fruit and plants all the time, and this is the first time I have seen this for sale. So if you are interested in trying this, I wouldn't get your hopes up. However, there is another way. If you want to try torch ginger and you can't get the fresh stuff and you can't get the frozen stuff, you can also get it dried. You put it in warm water, you hydrate it, and then you can use it as a garnish. You can use it to make your broth, you can use it to make tea, etc. Besides being used to make the greatest food in the world, sometimes torch ginger flowers are used to make a drink. I found a few references online of people making teas or juices with the torch ginger in it. So let's try that. And there it is. Well, I'll tell you one thing, it looks great. That is such a vibrant pink color. I made this by just taking one of the blossoms, I cut it up, boiled it with just 1 glass worth of water, let it steep for like 10 minutes, 20 minutes, and then I added a little bit of sugar. That's pretty good. It tastes kind of like lemonade. There's maybe a little bit of this extra berry kind of flavor to it. A little bit like strawberry to it. But it also has a bit of lemon lime dish soap to it. I wouldn't say like this tastes soapy, but it tastes a little bit like how soap smells, if that makes any sense. Some of the recipes that I saw for this called for you to add lime to it. So let's do that. Here comes trouble. What do you think, Vostok? You want to try it? She doesn't like it. So I'm going to add lime to it, but I'm not going to add any lime. I'm going to add calamansi lime. Hey. Oh. We've got a cat on a lap. Okay. So calamansi is a different species of lime. It is the same thing that is used in Malaysia. So I'm guessing that these two things have come together at some point. So I'm kind of curious how it's going to go. So I'm going to put a little squirt of that in there. Maybe not a full packet. Yeah, that's good. It's better like that, for sure. I don't notice so much of that soapy sort of flavor. And calamansi, by the way, kind of tastes if you took a lime and an orange and mixed them together. So now it tastes like if you had a lime and an orange and lemon and a little bit of macroot lime and a little bit of like a berry flavor and put that together. It's good. So ginger fruit is the least likely thing you're going to find somebody putting in their mouth. However, in some parts of the world, people do use ginger fruits, including some of the things I've already mentioned. So like the Madagascar wild cardamom that I spoke about earlier, that has a fruit to it. People use it in cooking in Madagascar. It's not as popular as the seeds, but it is still used. Torch ginger also has a fruit. I mean, the flowers are the most popularly used part of it, but I found fruit for sale as well, usually alongside the flowers, and I believe people use it in a similar sort of way. They will also flavor soups and curries with it. In the many years that I've had this channel, I have found one other ginger fruit besides that I don't know what it was. I found it also in Borneo. The fruit tasted like pickles and the seeds tasted like cinnamon. The ginger fruit that I have tried in the past was very interesting. I think they look really cool, they taste really interesting, and I think it's something that people don't really talk about enough. So, let's talk about some new ones. As I said, I visited New Caledonia, and while I was there, I had a rhizome that I hadn't had before, but I also had several new ginger fruits. This is a ginger species that I have never seen before. Now, these ones are not ready to eat, but you can see right now they're like very bright and vibrant looking, very cool looking. So those you don't want to eat in that state. You want them to be more ripe like this. So these ones have turned completely black. So I'm going to interrupt myself for a second just to say that I did some more research on this, and as it turns out, this is actually a very popular spice in Surinam. There it's called Masoesa, and the flesh of it, not the seeds, are used as a spice. What they do is they take the flesh and they mix it with water, and then they take that water, which has the flesh now infused into it, and they make rice out of it. This acts kind of as a saffron. It adds a color to the rice, but also a mild flavor. I couldn't, however, find any reports of people eating the seeds. And it looks, it actually looks a bit like a very large cardamom. It splits open, just like so. Wow. I love that. I love when a fruit has like this contrast of colors. So it's like orange on the inside with these dark seeds, and then purple on the outside. A lot of seeds. It's a little bit juicy, a little bit stringy, a little bit powdery. This one isn't very strong, but I'm being careful not to chew into the seeds yet, because that's probably where the flavor is going to be. Like a little sweet potato kind of flavor. And maybe a little bit of a melon kind of flavor, like a little bit of touch of cantaloupe, touch of sweet potato. Little sweet, maybe like 2 out of 10, 3 out of 10 on sweetness, no tartness. Alright, so now we're going into the danger territory. I'm going to bite into these. I'm getting like a spicy licorice. It's like Finnish licorice, where it's got like salt and spice in it. Alright, so Steven, do you want to try this?
Of course. Smells like apples.
Okay.
Wow. Really smells like green apples. Wow, that's a crazy smell. Kind of like pumpkin and durian, but not much sugar. I'm gonna chew some of these seeds, see how intense these are.
Go easy on it, because it catches up with you.
Yeah, there's an initial strong licorice flavor. I'm in kind of a spiciness, kind of like that grain of paradise flavor.
Yep.
Which nobody knows what that tastes like, but like black pepper mixed with.
Yep. You're gonna get one of the unripe ones?
Yeah, just to see. Let's see if it's tasting any different.
Give it a taste.
Yeah, it doesn't taste like much.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, that's really cool. That's a new species, probably a new genus for me. That's cool.
Okay, so Steven spotted something. I mean, this is not hard to spot though, because look at these leaves. They're beautiful variegated leaves, and this is another type of ginger. And these fruits also, they're like little Chinese lanterns. Very nice. We don't know what it is. besides the fact that it's a ginger, and you're pretty sure that gingers are all edible?
All gingers are edible, yeah.
Okay.
To my knowledge.
Nice.
There's no flesh.
Okay.
I'll try a seed. Like strong black pepper mixed with beef.
Pepper and beef. Okay.
It's not as potent as some of the other ones.
Flavorless flesh. Are the seeds pepper beef? Yeah. Well, I don't know if I would say that if you didn't say that, but it's peppery, and there is like this kind of like savory herbal flavor to it. It's a bit acrid, like this, but if you were to dry that and use it as a spice, that'd be pretty good. Cool. And then we see another one. Let's see if we can maybe get our hands on it, because this one is blue. Bring him up. Okay.
There you go.
Thank you.
Yay.
All right. So, very cool. Nice, like light blue, teal kind of color to them. Crack one open. It's got a very thin shell on the outside. The fruit in the middle. It's like a little ball. They look like little blue marbles. And again, they come in like 3 little wedges. I'm gonna try just one of these wedges. Different. I'm just trying the pulp. It's sour and kind of crispy. When I like bite into it lightly, it crisps like a really crispy apple. There's really not a lot of flesh in there. A little peppery, it's probably coming from the seeds. A little lemony. It's not especially sour, like a 4 out of 10 maybe. A little bit like green apple, and a little bit like blueberry. Maybe I'm being like influenced by what they look like, but a little bit. It's pretty nice. I'm going to interrupt myself with myself again and point out that what this might be is something called Alpinia purpurata, which is a ginger species that grows in New Caledonia. There's like one picture online of the fruit, and that matches up. There is a close relative to this, Alpinia caerulea, that grows in Australia that looks very, very similar. Very similar. So it might also be that. I actually had that one when I visited Australia, and it tasted very similar. And I was specifically told not to eat the seeds of that one, so take that for what it is. Pretty nice. Let me bite into one of these seeds. The seeds are a little cinnamony, a little woody, a little peppery.
Well, cool. These are beautiful.
Hold on a second. Let me move. I have a feeling there's going to be some spitting going on, so I'm going to move my bag. Alright. There it is.
Yeah, lemony, citrusy flavor, but the flesh to seed ratio is not great.
No.
Chew on it. Very savory flavor. I guess a bit of cinnamon. But it just, as you chew, it just gets increasingly spicy.
Yeah.
And just spicier and spicier and spicier.
It's easy to, like, overdo it.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Yeah. That's a new species of ginger for me. A new, probably genus, I don't know.
So there you have it. 3 ginger fruits. And they're all really interesting. You know, I think ginger fruits are really cool looking. They come in very vibrant colors. The flesh of the fruit itself can be tasty and useful, and the seeds can be used as a spice. And the root, I mean, you have ginger root can be used like ginger. Yeah. So cool to get a chance to try so many ginger fruits here, and I think that's about it. So here's the soap ginger. And they like collect water. Yeah. Why is it called soap ginger?
You can use this to wash yourself with.
Oh, you use the cone,
Yeah, it's just
like a loofah. So yeah, 4 gingers. There's 4. We'll see if there's 5, but I think that's it. All right, see ya. So that's all I have to say about ginger today, but I'm sure there'll be more in my future because this is a really interesting family of plants. There's so many interesting uses for the different gingers out there, and I'm looking forward to seeing more as I travel the world. I hope you thought this was interesting too, and I will see you all next time. Bye, guys. All right, I'll put you down. I'm sorry. See you next time. I would like to give a big thank you to Smarter Every Day, Bill T, and Joseph McCorkle. They are mega patrons on patreon.com. Patreon is how I keep this channel going. It is a huge help, so thank you. And to anyone watching who is interested in learning more about how you can support the channel and get some really cool bonuses in return, like early access to videos, exclusive videos, there's over 100 of those. There's even a level where I will send you things in the mail. You gotta check it out, so check out the link in the description below.